I'm Wincy Willis. I don't know whether you remember me, but I used to point with my right hand at the weather map on TVAM years ago. Well, actually, I'm left-handed, and I'm very, very pleased to be taking part in this video to help children all over the country who are left-handed, just like me. How many left-handed people do you know? Take a look around you. You'll be surprised. A recent survey has revealed that nearly 1 in 8 children is left-handed, with a number of schools having as many as 25%. With these kind of statistics, why is it that some children and many adults still face problems? This video has been produced to raise awareness of the particular issues for teaching left-handed children within the classroom setting, as well as relating to the wider curriculum. The practical information contained in this video will also be of value to parents and teachers of left-handed children, who will gain a better understanding of the child's development needs from a left-handed perspective. In years gone by, teachers would force children to write with their right hands. This caused all sorts of difficulties, such as stammering, nervous breakdowns, and even broken knuckles. However, nowadays, it is no longer considered to be a disadvantage, especially when you consider some famous left-handed people.
Paul McCartney,
Prince William,
Esther Anson,
David Seaman,
Ryan Giggs.
Just like the colour of your hair or how tall you are, being left-handed is usually a result of your genetic makeup. In right-handed people, the left side of the brain is the dominant one, but in left-handers, it is the right side of the brain which is dominant. As the saying goes, as the right hemisphere of the brain controls the left side of the body, then only left-handers are in their right minds. The right hemisphere of the brain is dominant for such areas as art, creativity and music. Left-handers also tend to think visually. However, there are varying degrees of handedness, including people who can use both hands equally well and are said to be ambidextrous. The term cross-lateral refers to people who have right eye dominance but are left-handed, or the other way round. Hand-eye coordination may take longer to achieve for those who are cross-lateral. You might be surprised to learn that left-handed people can have access to a whole range of products to make their lives easier, from nail scissors to secateurs, stationery to kitchenware. There are 2 main areas which cause particular problems for left-handed children, and the first we shall consider is scissors. Some scissors are advertised or sold as ambidextrous, but in reality the blades can only be set for right or left-handed use, not both. Some manufacturers produce scissors where the grip has been moulded to be held in the left hand, but they still have the blades set as for a right-handed pair of scissors. Have a try with a pair of scissors yourself. Do you know whether they are left or right-handed? Using a pair of right-handed scissors in your right hand, you will notice that to cut along a line, you look along the inside edge of the scissors. Put the same scissors in your left hand and you will notice that the cutting edge is now on the outside, forcing you to turn the scissors away from the vertical to follow the cutting edge. If you do not do this, then your cutting will miss the line by the width of the blade. Also, you may well find that the material will fold and not cut, as you are not putting the appropriate pressure on the blades to force them together. Not being able to cut, particularly at a young age, can be very frustrating for the child, with the probable thought of not, "What is wrong with the scissors?" but, "Why can't I cut?" As with the other problems we will deal with, the resultant lack of self-esteem and confidence can cause repercussion beyond the classroom and the inability to achieve full academic potential. It is also necessary to consider the left-handed child when showing how to cut out. The left-hander will find it easier to cut out a circle, for example, in a clockwise direction, where the right-hander will cut out in an anti-clockwise direction. With a drawing that has an option of where to start, it is suggested that the left-hander will find it easier to start at the left-hand side. Why not try this out for yourself to understand the difficulties? It's important to place a left-handed child at a table where, when he uses his left hand, he will not be knocking elbows with the right-hander. If possible, ensure that the desk and chair are at a suitable height for the child. Where practical, raising the angle of the book can make for an easier style. A low table makes the child raise their shoulders, leading to the hook style. The child should be in a comfortable position and relaxed, as an over-tight grip is a likely result from undue tension. To lighten a tight grip and heavy pressure, make a game of writing on 3 sheets of paper with carbon paper between them, with the aim being to write lightly enough not to make an imprint on the last page. It can also be useful to encourage the child to write larger letters. This can help to alleviate the tension of the grip. There are 4 main components when it comes to handwriting: grip, position of writing implement, position of paper, alignment of wrist. As a right-hander writes, the pen is drawn across the page, but with a left-hander, the hand follows the pen over the writing, obscuring it and causing smudging. Left-handed writers, therefore, need to adapt their writing style to keep their hand away from the writing, and this is where proper guidance is crucial, as without help, many left-handers adopt an awkward, uncomfortable style, which once habitual, is very difficult to correct. Let's take a closer look at those 4 specific writing components, whilst comparing some of them with the right-handed style. We suggest that you participate yourself to appreciate the problems. You may well have noticed some amazing grips and styles of writing. For example, the notorious hook style, where the wrist is contorted so that the hand comes from over the top of the writing. This is fraught with potential difficulties and can lead to bad posture and backache, and is neither an efficient nor fast way of writing. How you hold the writing implement is significant for the comfort of the hand, the ease of forming letters, and whether or not you will smudge your writing. It is generally accepted that the tripod grip is the best to use, where the middle finger goes under the writing implement with the thumb and forefinger on either side. This grip is appropriate for use with either hand. There are specific pencil grips which are triangular and also moulded, as well as triangular writing pens such as Beryl hand huggers. As well as being triangular, they have washable ink and have a specific place to hold them. They are also available in pencils, crayons and felt tip pens. Holding the pen about 2 centimetres away from the tip has 3 benefits. Firstly, you can see what you have written more easily because the fingers aren't in the way. Secondly, it moves the fingers further away from the writing, making it less likely you will smudge. And thirdly, when using a cartridge pen, the fingers will be well away from the nib. The triangular grips, pencils and pens are adequate where the child has a reasonable grip already. But the moulded pencil grips promote and can reinforce precisely the correct grip. If the child has a poor grip, then a moulded pencil grip will produce the best result. Despite a good grip, placing the writing implement in the wrong part of the hand will still cause you to smudge. It should be sat in the V shape between the thumb and forefinger, parallel with the thumb and held about 2 centimetres away from the tip. Placing a book or paper directly in front of you can cause great difficulty for both right and left-handers, as the arm is squashed into the side of the body, causing tension and restricting movement. For a left-handed child, it will almost guarantee smudging unless the hook style of writing is used. Once a comfortable writing position has been achieved, the position of the paper needs to be adjusted accordingly. For the left-handed child, the paper should be placed to the left of the body midline, and the top of the paper should be turned clockwise until it is parallel to the arm to no more than 45 degrees. Using line paper will show the child the correct angle at which they should be writing. Even with every other component in place, you will still smudge the writing if your wrist is bent. The wrist should be straight, with a straight line being made from the forearm to the wrist and thumb. This ensures the tip of the writing implement is above the hand, making the writing visible to the writer without any smudging or contortion of the hand taking place. The straight wrist should be maintained as the child writes along the line. Correct application of the 4 components, grip, position of the writing implement, position of the paper, and alignment of the wrist, will ensure trouble-free writing. It is also important to realise that, as well as having to acquire a different writing style to the right-hander, the left-handed child may also form their letters in a different way. Here are a few more useful tips which can be of assistance to the left-hander when writing. Some children naturally produce what is called mirror writing, where the child starts writing from the right-hand side of the page to the left, often in perfect reverse script. They may also read it equally well. This is not unusual. Leonardo da Vinci and Lewis Carroll were famous exponents of this kind of writing. Putting a star in the margin where the writing should start is a simple aid which can often help. It's usually just a matter of time and practice, along with some gentle encouragement, that makes it become a thing of the past. Left-handedness in itself does not cause learning difficulties. However, it is worth being aware that many dyslexics are left-handed. It is important to bear this in mind where there are reading and writing difficulties which are not easily remedied. When a child is learning to read, you may find that they are also looking at the end of a word first rather than the beginning. A simple remedy is to encourage the child to run their fingers under the word from left to right as they read. Some parents buy a left-handed pen for a left-handed child, hoping it will solve handwriting problems. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as that. A left-hander will very often find that the sharp right angle of the right-hander's pen will dig into the paper and scratch as they push the pen across the paper. The angled nib of a left-handed pen can therefore make that style of writing easier, but it is not as efficient for the style where the writing is smudged or the hook style of writing. A left-handed pen can also help in straightening the wrist, as the pen has to be turned slightly to the left so that the nib sits flat on the paper. This turning of the pen can assist to straighten the wrist, which, as stated before, is a vital component for good writing. In fact, using the pen incorrectly can cause additional difficulties, because when the child finds that the pen does not work for them, there is a resultant and sometimes increased loss of self-esteem and continued smudging. Many cartridge pens have a ball nib for improved ink flow. A left-handed pen of this type has the nib slightly ground on one side. This pen is a very popular choice. It should be stressed that whatever pen is used, if the child is smudging their writing, it is their style that is causing the problem and not the pen. It is often suggested that children can use a finger to make a space between the words they are writing. Left-handed children find this almost impossible. When using a finger on the right hand to make a space, they have to cross the left hand over the right hand to start the next word. It is simpler to suggest they leave a space the size of an O after one word and before the next. Using the correct techniques to write can be easily achieved with a little care, attention and practice, and will benefit the children for the rest of their lives, allowing them to produce legible writing with a minimum effort and strain. Many children do not experience difficulties until they start using ink pens. However, encouraging a good grip and positioning the fingers from an early age will minimize problems later. When asking a child to copy, it makes life easier and quicker if the item to be copied is above where the child should write. Other items are available for left-handed children, which can make life easier. For example, older children may use rulers with scales running from right to left, making it easier to draw lines of a correct length by pulling the pencil rather than pushing it, and without obscuring the scale while doing so. With the pencil sharpener, the pencil is held in the left hand and turned anti-clockwise. This is a natural motion for the left-hander and ensures the shavings fall away from the body. There are calligraphy pens especially designed for left-handers and angled for the style where the hand goes underneath the writing. With a good style, this can be an enjoyable hobby and increase self-confidence in handwriting. Using the computer is made simpler if the mouse is moved to the left side of the keyboard, and the facility for left-handed mouse configuration in the controls program is utilized. A left-handed ergonomic mouse is also available, as well as a keyboard with the numeric keys on the left-hand side for speedier data input. When showing left-handed children such skills as tying shoelaces and ties, and also with sewing and crafts, it can often help if a right-handed person sits opposite and shows them the skill as a mirror image. In domestic science classes or in the kitchen at home, the left-handed potato peeler and tin opener can also make life a lot easier. There are also other useful kitchen items such as corkscrews, pastry slicers, and forks, fish knives, ladles, milk pans and kettles, all designed to benefit the left-hander. Left-handed kitchen and steak knives with serrations on the right-hand side can also make cutting easier. In design and technology classes, care must be taken when using power tools, as these aren't always designed for left-handed use. There are guidebooks to help with such activities as knitting, crochet, needlepoint and sewing. Left-handed golf clubs are obtainable, as well as cricket pads and gloves. Sports are an area where left-handers can often excel. You can even get left-handed boomerangs. All in all, there are simple ways to help left-handed children in many areas of the school curriculum. And specialist shops exist offering a wide variety of products and free advice. There's also a left-handers club for support and information. By following the guidelines in this video, you can make a real and lasting difference to the life of the left-handed child and can give them an equal opportunity to achieve their full academic potential.